17 in Broadview. Madam Clerk, are you ready for a roll call?
Trustee Abraham? Here. Trustee Benson is absent. Trustee Harper is absent. President Jones?
Present.
Trustee McGrail?
Here.
Trustee Morris?
Here.
Trustee Brown Marino? Here. May we all stand for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May we have a moment of silence, please? Thank you. Item number 2, public comment.
Gwen Turner.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Gwen Turner, and I am the Secretary of the Neighborhood Watch Committee, and I would like to invite everybody out to our next meeting, which is Friday, February 22nd, right here at 7 p.m. And we do have Neighborhood Watch window signs that you can put in your window. We'll be passing those out here. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Turner. Joe Brown.
Hello, everyone, the mayor and the board, and first to the mayor and my comments to the mayor and McGreer. The meeting on the 31st of January was very informative. We got lots of information on the one that I would say, I look forward to that whatever rule you pass about whatever I'm willing to say that I'm going to say to take my bill to go up to fix the infrastructure. I'm going to go. And I would say that the one which raises, goes to the first phase, raises the highest now, where we can get it down once we start get the whole thing down. So we got very good information for it. The only thing I say about it the next time, Mr. McGreer, that you have it, it was okay until the end when we have a sideshow. That wasn't what we were supposed to be about. And I would say next time, don't have someone have a sideshow. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Gary Purvis.
Yes.
Friends and neighbors. Move this real quick. Anyway, there are two types of persons who wish to gain elected office. Those who truly want to improve the quality of the community they serve, and those who wish to gain personal power and prestige. The second is mentioned as the worst kind of official that we can elect, regardless of political affiliation, liberal or conservative. This is the reason this community, the state of Illinois, and our nation as a whole is in a financial dire distress that we are at this time. These people are serving themselves above their community. Trustee Judy Brown Marino has been very outspoken about financial decisions made by this board and the previous administration. And some points have been very valid, but in the last several years, she has incurred debts to Sauce Restaurant for fundraisers and personal parties, still unpaid, over $1,200. The start of your tenure, several robocalls have been placed, and who knows where that money came from. I understand that each call is about $1,500 each time, even though people didn't want it. And you've involved yourself in a legal case with no legal counsel, and it cost this village over $30,000. And at the same time, since becoming a trustee, you managed to purchase a new car, and yet your property taxes only seem to be paid after public disclosure that they're late. I think you should get your financial house in order personally before lecturing anybody else. Where do do you get your income from? What job do you have, and who is your benefactor? Who are you working for? You're not working for the benefit of this community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Purvis. Billy Yancey.
Good afternoon. First of all, I'd like to say that the information that was given to us at the meeting last Thursday was more than welcome. I think it was information that we needed to know. The second thing I'd like to say is that a couple of weeks ago, there was a break in the water line across the street from my house. And I was able to get Matt Ames on the phone. Well, I left a message on his phone. In about 30 minutes, they had responded. And they worked all night to take care of that. And I commend the water department and Matt Ames for the work that they did and saving us money with wasted water. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Yancey. Joreen Gordon.
I just want to say, the meeting that you held on Thursday night was a very good meeting, very informative, and I think it was well received by the many residents that were there, and I was glad to see as huge amount of attendance was there. The one thing I would like to mention, aside from that, is the enormous cost of the legal fees that have been generated by Judy Brown Marino for this village to pay is just outrageous, outlandish, for frivolous lawsuits, absolutely frivolous lawsuits.
Yes.
And it is not something that we should not be having to pay. I understand we have to because she is a trustee and you're having to answer all the lawsuits, that's one thing. But something needs to be done. There has to be some way for someone who has done such despicable things to be put off this board. I'm sure that there are ethics violations in addition to all of the other things that she has been doing. And I think that our attorney needs to look at that from a legal standpoint, because from us out here in the audience, it is not something that we would do. It is morally reprehensible and ethically wrong.
Yes.
Katrina Thompson.
Good evening, Mayor Jones and trustees. My name is Katrina Thompson. My address is 2333 South 15th Avenue. And last week when the water information was given out at the Veterans Center, I received these documents. And I just had a couple of questions because after reviewing it, I became concerned as a taxpayer to two residents. In one of the documents, it states that Trustee Brown Marino, the village clerk, Maxine Johnson, obtained the same attorney for the strip club, Dave Donahue. If that's the case, how is that being rectified and what's being done? Because we reckon up attorney fees for us, the taxpayers that's responsible for that, even though there's nothing you all probably can do about it. Then the other thing is that this is a financial burden to the village. Please provide the taxpayers with the legal exposures that we have available to us so that we know what's really going on as it relates to the finances. $30,000 is a lot of money. $30,000 could go toward a water break and not legal fees that's unnecessary. So I'm just looking for some answers and some more clarity on what's being done behind the scenes, because literally we don't know. I was actually shocked and embarrassed that I read that.
Thank you. Mr. Matt Ames.
Thank you, Mayor and Board of Trustees. My name is Matthew Ames, and I reside at 1906 South 14th Avenue. I guess I'm before the board. I have some serious concerns as it relates to this federal document, obviously for your information. And I think Ms. Thompson touched on it, but what's done is done. $31,000 is $31,000. The serious concern that I have is the fact that Ms. Brown Marino admitted in the federal court documents that her and the village clerk, Maxine Johnson, was introduced to an attorney by the name of Kaysen by Mr. Dave Donahue. And Dave Donahue, we all know, is the front for the strip club. And by the way, he was here at the last electoral board hearing Saturday. We got him on video to come in and I guess oversee the circus that's been going on. But my concern, Mayor, is that these individuals sit in executive session. They sit in executive session while the defense for the village as it relates to the strip club is being discussed on intimate terms. And the concern is what prevents these individuals, because they do have an established relationship with Mr. Dave Donahue, from going back to the strip club and letting them know exactly what the village's strategies and defense might be. So I would like for the board, if nothing else, to have some serious considerations as to some type of sanction. And Ms. Doreen Gordon, I believe, in some elected offices, the individual can and should be impeached, especially for undermining most certainly the efforts of the corporate authorities. So that's my comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Haynes. Thank you, Madam Clerk, that concludes the public comment.
Item number 3, consideration to approve the following minutes. A, consideration to approve January 28, 2013 special board meeting minutes.
Motion to table, I never received them.
Second.
Been motion by Trustee McGreer to table, and probably second by Trustee Morris to table this agenda item. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, that agenda item is tabled until the next board meeting.
Item number 3B, consideration to approve January 22nd, 2013 regular board meeting minutes.
Motion to table as well, have not received them.
Second.
Probably motion by Trustee McGreer, probably second by Trustee Morris to table agenda item 3B. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Hearing none, that agenda item will be tabled until the next regularly scheduled board meeting.
Item number 4, consideration to approve the expenditures. Grand total all funds, $182,851.07.
Say that total again. What total you got there?
$382,851.07.
Okay, motion to approve.
381
Yeah.
and 5107.
I'm looking at this.
Second.
Okay, then probably
Yeah.
motion by Trustee Morris and probably second by Trustee Abraham to approve these expenditures. May I have a report from Finance?
We have AT&T at $5,764.91. Avalon Petroleum, $4,540.93. Blue Cross, $103,095.16. Broadview Westchester Joint Water, $101,424.96. C&M Pipe, $6,957.20. Group Industries, $11,161.46. Geno's Plumbing, $54,230. Garda Life Insurance, $7,571.73. The Law Office of Phil Finaro, $6,418.75. MFA Construction, $8,380.26. Petroleum Technologies, $44,988. Strand Associates, $6,181.70. And Widget, $3,263.80, which is a grand total of $363,978.86, which is 95% of the total bills.
Okay, questions, comments, or corrections from members of the board, starting with Trustee John Marino?
None.
Trustee Morris?
Nope.
Trustee McGreer?
None.
Trustee Benson?
None.
Trustee Abraham?
No.
Since this particular agenda item deals with money and expenditures, Madam Clerk, may we have a roll call on this one, please?
Yeah. Trustee Abraham? Yes. Trustee Benson? Yes. Trustee Margaret is absent. Trustee McGreer?
Yes.
Trustee Morris?
Yes.
Trustee Brown Marino? Yes.
And that motion carries on that agenda item, and make that part of the record for this board.
Item number 5, reports of the public officers will be given on February 19, 2013. Item number 6, communications, we have none. Item number 7, unfinished business. Consideration to approve the minutes of January 7, 2013.
That's it.
Did everybody get the minutes?
No, sir.
Does anyone have the minutes?
I do.
You got it?
You got them at the next board meeting. Right.
Either one of you?
You passed them out?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to table until the next board meeting.
Why you have no motion to approve it then, if you got it?
Because if it,
Okay, it's been motioned by trustee McGreer and second by trustee Benson to table this particular agenda item. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, hearing none, this agenda item will be tabled until the next board meeting along with the other minutes that are not done.
February 19th.
Item number 7B, consideration to approve an agreement with Village of Broadview and Broadview Animal Hospital.
Take a motion to table.
I second.
The motion was made by trustee Abraham and second by trustee McGreer. All in favor of the table?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, the ayes have it. This agenda item will be tabled to the next board meeting also.
Item number 8, new business. Consideration of an ordinance approving a facade improvement agreement by and between the Village of Broadview and Hildebrand Sporting Goods for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to table both items A and B, since they both deal with the facade improvement, and we have not yet received legislation for that.
Second.
Probably motion by trustee McGreer, probably second by trustee Abraham. Mr. Attorney, do we have an idea when we're gonna have this done?
Yeah, probably you guys tomorrow. The ordinance will be due tomorrow.
So this would be fine for the next board meeting? Okay. With that being said, the motion to table this agenda item A and B until the next board meeting is on the table right now. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none. They'll have it tomorrow? Okay, that motion carries.
Item number 8C, consideration of a motion approving the hiring of a certified officer for the police department for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Probably motion by trustee Abraham, probably second by trustee Morris to approve this agenda item. Chief, you want to talk about this particular venture that we got in front of us right now?
Sure. Basically, this is an officer that retired a couple months ago. We're just replacing that officer.
The officer that we're bringing on board?
The officer we're bringing on board will be a certified officer, and that means that we will have to send that person to the academy. We'll get boots on the ground, hopefully by March 1st.
Police Commissioner Yancey, you got anything to add to that? He said, oh, you don't want pre-cert? Okay. Questions or comments from the members of the board, start with trustee Brown Marino.
No.
Trustee Moore.
No.
Trustee McGreer.
Comments, thank you, Chief. Nothing else.
Trustee Benson. Trustee Abraham.
The only comment I have is that we're getting another officer to patrol our streets, so again, to do our public safety efforts.
As you know, I'd like to let you all know that this was a process that went through our commission as it relates to the changing of how we hire police officers within the Village of Broadview, because public safety is a big issue with me and with the police department as well. The police commission, along with the police chief, got together and came up with a new policy for hiring, which allowed us to hire already certified officers. It saved us the window of time for them to go to training and get prepared, and also the street time in the car to learn the streets. And so instead of having a 9-month time before you have a certified officer on the street,
We have 3 months.
down to 3 months. So in 90 days, we'll have a certified officer on the streets, patrolling the streets. So with that being said, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries for the hiring of the new officer. Is he here? Do you have him?
No.
He's not present?
No,
Shame
no.
on you. You didn't hire him already?
No,
Okay.
This is-
I'm just playing, don't worry.
it's a hire.
Yeah.
I'll be back on the 19th.
I know you will. Madam Clerk?
Item number 8D, consideration to approve a business license application for commercial industrial service.
Make motion to approve.
Second.
Probably motion by trustee Benson and probably second by trustee Abraham to approve this business license application. Ms. Benson, you want to report on this one?
Commercial industrial services, they do carpet cleaning, they install carpet in any location, that's all they do. They'll be located at 1720 19th Street in Broadview. Let's see, they have all their inspections. I just requested the last approval from the fire inspector. He put that in my box today. So everything has been approved, but that was not approved prior to today. And that's it.
Okay. Questions or comments from the board? Trustee Ramarino?
No.
Trustee Morris?
No.
Trustee McGuire?
Yes, Trustee Benson, are they already in business or operation at their location?
Not that I know of.
Okay, are these good contact numbers to reach them?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's it, Mr. Mayor.
Trustee Abraham? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries for the new business license application. Welcome Commercial Industrial Services. Anyone here from Commercial Industrial? I don't see anybody in the house. Okay. Madam Clerk, next agenda.
Item number 9, application for the authority to spend funds, $6,329.68.
Motion to approve.
I second.
Okay, it's properly motion by Trustee Abraham and properly second by Trustee McGuire. I see that Trustee Harvard is not here. Who's got the report on
I
that?
do.
Trustee Abraham?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
This is from Petroleum Technologies. What this was disposal from the fire department when they hit the underground gas tanks and they had to make, they did the repairs. What they did is they hauled and disposed of 2 loads of contaminant soil, which is 30 cubic yards. They also replaced it with clean chips, 66 tons. They also installed an emergency stop switch, parts and labor, and then there was a service call to pump and dispose of bad gas. So the gasoline was then pumped out. There was a transportation truck charge also that was involved in this invoice. So that's why the total is $6,329.68.
Okay. Chief, is there anything you want to add to that?
No, this was just, we knew there was going to be some other extra costs involved, but we didn't know what they were going to be until they uncovered everything, so these are the additional fees. So this will close out all the work, the pumps are up, they've been certified by the state, so we're back up and running.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Chief. Questions or comments from the board? The Chief is here to respond. Trustee Brown Marino?
I just want to be clear, so this is work that's already been done?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
We didn't know
Right.
until they got the soil out and sample it, if there was any other costs. That's where the initial $44,000 was for all the repairs, but we knew there was going to be subsequent, possibly additional costs.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee Moore?
No.
Trustee McGuire?
Chief, I just want to thank you again. From the beginning, we saw the process through, took photos, I talked to the guys over there. So again, thank you for all of that work.
And the state did comment, they said the work there is the best they've seen in a long time.
It does look good. Great.
That's good news.
Yeah,
It is good.
Trustee Benson?
No comment.
And Trustee Abraham? Since this particular agenda item deals with money, Madam Clerk, can we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Trustee Abraham?
Yes.
Trustee Benson?
Yes.
Trustee Harvard is absent. Trustee McGuire?
Yes.
Trustee Morris?
Yes.
Trustee Brown Marino?
Yes.
And that motion on the floor carries also.
Item number 10, building and public property, Trustee Abraham.
Yes, good evening, residents. I have a few items for the board to know about as well. With public property from the police department, we have a current non-running surplus vehicle that they will be requesting for disposal. What it was a vehicle they had seized through an arrest of a DUI. The courts awarded it to us, this particular car to us, and at this point in time it was being used as undercover. But again, the maintenance, the year, the upkeep has been no longer deemed appropriate. Obviously, the age and the mileage is exceeded. So what they want to do is dispose of it. They want to do it through auction. The Blue Book value of it would be $1,395. There would be a service fee, obviously, so hopefully the village would net at least $1,311. So that is with the police department.
From the building department, from Commissioner Upshaw, he gave me some updates on some things that are going on. O'Reilly Auto Parts, even with the weather, they still will be moving forward. Garda is working with Commissioner Upshaw on the permits so that they can start their work. The water agency is moving along as well, so they're on schedule. NPC, which I'm sure if you're familiar with, they're out here to make a presentation, residents, and they're moving in, so they're not yet completed. Also, Solo Laboratories, they are also out here to make a presentation. They're almost completed in their remodeling and renovations. From the fire department, we have some items, some updates there. As you know, the chief just reported that the fuel system repairs have been completed, so that is done. Also, the new windows are being installed, and tuck pointing and brickwork is now completed, and that's going on with the training tower that the firemen use. So, and all that work is being paid through a grant from Mavis Division 20. The Hummer that will be ready for service as well. The paint, the packaging for the lights has been completed. The seats are currently being recovered. And again, as you recall, this was a vehicle that we obtained free at no cost to our residents. So again, both Chief Tagara, he was able to take advantage of that as well, and again, to Chief Gardner. The broken sewer line they had in the basement of the firehouse was repaired. That was done by the firemen that are plumbers. And all it was the we didn't pay the repairs that we had to pay for, just basically the materials, correct? So we didn't have, so that kept the costs down. Also, we had 2 firemen install all our electrical, video, and internet capability in the roll call room and the office areas of the police department. So again, this was another significant cost savings to the village. That's it. End of my report.
Thank you, Trustee Abraham.
Business Committee, Trustee Benson.
Evening, everyone. The only thing I wanted to report on, I had a request regarding the Resident Economic Development Committee. I hadn't had it in a while because there's been too much stuff going on, way too much stuff going on outside of village work. However, I am going to get back on that for those members that come to those meetings. And I'll be announcing very soon for the next meeting. I'll have all the questionnaires, well, they're done already, tallied up, and the board should be done as well. So if anyone that is not a part of the Resident Economic Development Committee would like to be a part, please do let me know after the meeting. I've already begun working on the Chamber of Commerce here in Broadview. So if any of you have any information regarding that, want to help with anything with that, it is a lot of work. My God, I don't know what I got myself into, but I'm going to do it all. But if anyone wants to help, I would be very appreciative. So those are my 2 announcements. We have already gone over the business licenses, so I have nothing to say regarding that, and that completes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Benson.
Our next committee reports, fire, police, and civil services. Anyone doing it for Trustee Harvey?
Trustee Abraham for police and fire.
Yes, I do. I wanted to announce for the fire department, there's a CPR class this Saturday, February 9th at 9 a.m., and there's no charge to any of our village residents. So, Chief, do you want to make any additional comments for that? Okay. It's Saturday, February 9th at 9 a.m., and there's no charge to our village residents to get CPR certified. The other thing that's coming up that we just received information on was this Thursday. This came from the state of Illinois, the Emergency Management Agency. This was just released that our Governor Quinn urges Illinois to join in the biggest earthquake drill in the Midwest history. This is on February 7th. The title is Drop, Cover, and Hold On. And they want to do this test. It's a 9-state emergency preparedness drill designed to encourage residents to think about what to do before, during, and after an earthquake, and they want that to take place at 10:15. If you do want to do this drill, they do have a site that you can go and register online called www.shakeout.org. And you can sign up and ask you if you're a family, how many people, and if it's a school, if it's any organization, and they want everyone to take part in this. And so far right now, they have 410,000 Illinois residents have already registered for this drill, and it would be this Thursday, February 7th at 10:15.
Trustee Abraham, I did put on the back table.
Here's flyers. Again, residents, Chief did put flyers out there, so please, if you can, grab that. I signed up already. It's real quick and easy to sign up for that.
One more thing, I want her to make the announcement since she had before. Yeah.
Oh, we also have the second annual Senior Valentine Ball will be at Saturday, February 9th from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. and that's at Schroeder Park, 2600 South 13th Avenue. And you have to RSVP at 343-5637. And it's $5 for a single, $8 per couple. And that's the Senior Valentine Ball second one.
Thank you, Trustee Abraham.
Our next committee report, street sidewalks and alley, Trustee McGuire.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Board of Trustees, residents. I have to stand up to give this report because I am so proud of our Public Works Department. We have had, since our last board meeting, 2 snowfalls. We hadn't had much snow in the last year prior to that, but the largest of that snowfall was overnight. And at 5 this morning, that crew was mobilized, getting your streets clean. And I'll put our streets against any streets in the area. I went out and I saw Maywood and a couple of other towns, couldn't touch us. So thank you very much to our Public Works Department for their diligence and getting our streets and keeping our streets clean. If you were able to come out last Thursday to the Beverly Center, we as the Street Sidewalks and Alley Commission gave a pretty detailed report and presentation on our water rates, our infrastructure, and some other things. And you probably got a chance to see our Public Works crew there. Most of them were there, some could not be there. But those are the guys that we count on to keep our public streets and alleys and sidewalks clean, looking the way we want, so our property values continue to rise. If you didn't get out Thursday, we recorded the whole presentation, and that will be available on our village website, which is www.broadview-il.gov in probably a day or 2. Okay? Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Trustee McGuire. Madam Clerk.
Our next committee report is Finance Committee. Trustee Moore.
Yeah, I have no report.
Thank you, Trustee Moore.
Water, Finance Committee, Trustee Brown,
No report.
Thank you, Trustee Brown.
I have a couple announcements I'd like to make. Tomorrow, I guess we have been going through the election process with candidates. The other candidates are elected. We'll be having our hearing tomorrow here in the chambers on the 25th, starting at 12 noon. They're in the process of testimony. Also, I would like to respond to the resident, I think Ms. Katrina Thompson, about the Dave Donahue and spending money for an attorney. I spent no village money for an attorney. It's my report. Please respect me. I respect you, Mr. Purvis. I have not spent no money on an attorney on the village of Broadview. The money I spent was my own money to hire an attorney because I was locked out of the office. Keys was changed to the clerk office. Unemployment, falsely accused here of the village. I have spent my own money. I will stand and will continue to do what's right as village clerk and as a resident here. And if you know me as much, have I been involved back and forth with the Park District and doing other things in my previous employment, I'm a pretty straight up person that you can come to and ask these questions and stuff, but I have no problem with answering them in public. The attorney was referred to me by a resident here, and I was glad that I did receive that attorney, but there was no cost, there was no charges on this village here that was paid for. Secondly, I'm amazed that all the residents that turned out tonight, and not a one have asked or said anything about Trustee Hodgman being arrested with charges against her that's in the newspaper. Not one. This is someone who sits on the Police and Fire Commission board. This is a trustee who we entrust to take care of our business, and no one has said anything about her. And I think that was pretty.
Hold on a second. First of all, if someone's speaking, everyone should
respect the person that's speaking at that time. Public comment for that purpose. We should restrict any comment to what they were discussing in the public comments, Madam Clerk. That's more appropriate than to respond to what was said. But please, just a little bit of decorum. We're going to have a lot of meetings in the next couple months. It's best if one party's allowed to speak at a time. It's also clearer for the camera.
Right, and before I conclude the end of my report, as I was saying, it's amazing to me that not one resident questioned or asked what was happening since that was part of tonight's agenda. So, on that note, I will conclude my report. If you have any questions that you would like to ask me after the board meeting, I will make myself available to those who had questions or concerns about attorney fees or anything else. I'd be more than willing to share with any resident.
Thank you.
You're welcome. President Jones.
Okay, a couple of things. First of all, it was a nice turnout for the public informational forum that we had. And it was announced that there was going to be discussion about water rates plus other subjects and other topics. That was in the card that was disseminated to your homes, and it was also on the signage that was out and about throughout the town. It was important that we had it. I was committed to having it. It's, you know, people think that or have accused me of being crazy to talk about water rates at election time. But as I stated in the meeting, you know, it's something that's got to be done, you know. And if it has anything to do with my position here, so be it. The entire session was filmed, to Kevin's point, and I'm not going to belabor that issue much longer, but it's available. Please do not go out and tell people part of the story, just refer them to see the video. I've had 3 people call me today to say that they heard from people that were at the meeting that we're going up on the water rates 41%. They accused the village of going up on the rates 41%. I want to state for the record, for those of you that were not in attendance on Thursday, we gave 3 distinct scenarios. There were 3 separate scenarios, and because there are 3 separate scenarios, we're actually going to give out a questionnaire within the next 30 days or so to add and see, to gauge what kind of response we get from the people in town that have seen the 3 separate scenarios. But at no point in time have we made a final decision on exactly what we're going to do or where we're going with the water or the rates or anything, or even the project at this point. We haven't made a determination on it. We had the meeting to let you all know what the condition was, what we're looking at, and understand, knowing what happened in Crestwood and what happened in Sauk Village. We're trying to make sure that we're not in that situation in the future, and it's our job to make sure that you know what your tax dollars are being spent on. And it's critical for you to know exactly what we're looking at. So for absolutely no reason, please don't tell people part of the story. Tell them the whole story, and just refer them to the website. There was a comment made by Mr. Joe Brown about a sideshow, and I don't know exactly what he called the sideshow. I think people in presentations sometimes are passionate about what they do, and they get emotional. Males, females, all over the place. And so in disseminating information, it may have appeared to some as a sideshow either way. Mr. Purvis, you know, you made some comments about people's personal life and everything, you know, and this is not the forum for comments directed at people in their personal life and, you know, how they pay their taxes, this, that, and the other. If in fact the person has not paid their taxes, then we should have addressed that at the time they were running for election. You talked about robocalls and all this, that, and the other. Please do your homework, because robocalls do not cost $1,500. So you need to check on that one. Legal fees. The legal fees that have been talked about and bantered around were fees incurred by the village in responding to individuals trying to intercede in an already ongoing court case. We are in litigation and have been in litigation since 2007 as it relates to adult use proposing to come to the village of Broadview. That litigation has been ongoing. Attorneys have changed on both sides a couple of times. Our defense has changed. And because we changed the defense, we did not want to lose our position in the case, because we feel that we have a strong case after changing our position. One of the trustees who has had this information for a period of time and did not decide to go in front of try to make an appearance in the court prior to becoming an elected official. Decided after becoming an elected official to go on in and make these claims or present this information to the courts. That information could have been very easily just disseminated to the attorneys that are fighting the case or discussed with our attorneys fighting the case, and we may not have expended that money. But the documents were clear. You guys have seen it. It's a matter of public record. The judge ruled against it, and then this particular trustee decided that, well, the judge, I don't think you're right, and he came back and tried to get into the case again. And that's where the fees came from. These individuals that represent the village, either as trustee, clerk, or any other position, who they choose to be their attorney is their business. They can choose whoever they want to represent them in their personal life and in their personal dealings or however it is. I would hope that they're not giving out private information, privileged information, as relates to the village and the village strategies as it relates to litigation or anything else for that matter. I can't say that they are, I can't say that they're not. It is what it is, folks. You know, whether it has happened or whether it has not happened, I don't know. Some things are curious though. Some things that happen are very curious. The attorneys are well aware. They're going to do their investigation. Ultimately, nothing can be done without law and without proof. And if there is no proof, we're absent justification, you're kind of stuck with what you have for now. And we have to navigate that terrain as best we can. That's all I can tell you all as it relates to those items. The Public Works Department, Kevin, you spoke to it, streets are clean, and I don't even want to compare it to Maywood. I'd rather compare it to North Riverside and LaGrange Park, which we look better than they did this morning because I was in LaGrange Park and North Riverside this morning. That's a better barometer for me than to compare us to Maywood. So that's what I got to say on that. You know, Ms. Yancey, I'm surprised that you didn't tell us about the senior ball. You know, and you know, that slipped in mind. When's the senior ball? Ms. Yancey, Katrina, you want to repeat it before I close out? Date and time?
I went to the first senior ball last year.
Mm-hmm.
We had a great time, a good turnout, and we had a lot of nice food, and we did a lot of nice dancing. The music was good, and I got down.
What was it?
Okay. When is it again, Julie? Saturday?
February 9th.
February 9th?
From 3 p.m. to 6 p.m.
3 to 6. You all need to come out and support our seniors. That's all I got. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn tonight's session.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Properly motion by McGreer, properly second by Trustee Abraham. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Hearing none, tonight's meeting is adjourned.